All right, we are back finally. It's been a couple of weeks, but we're now doing this. I'm here with my man, Handsom Shrek,
What up? What up?
and also Blockhead Blake, who's joining us live via phone from the draft room bunker.
Yeah, location's a secret.
Top secret location, huh?
Can't be spilling the beans here.
Yes. Shrek, once again, is in some sort of paradise beach or something with
Aruba.
Hold on. Let me update my location. Hold on 1 second.
Okay, because you got a hat on, which seems rather odd.
Hold on 1 second.
Aruba, Jamaica.
You can continue.
Classic song right there.
And where are you? Shorter in person.
I am in the Millennium Falcon.
That's
You love it?
pretty impressive.
I
How you did that?
mean, listen, when you're as cool as I am, you can pretty much go wherever you want to go. You know what I mean? Do what you want to do.
You got a little pass.
That's right.
Makes sense.
Shrek doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
I don't know. He's
I am
lost.
updating.
He's
Yeah,
lost
I'm
in the
lost.
sauce.
I'm lost on the beach.
Yeah. Well, ain't nothing wrong with that. I
He's
think,
on island time.
I think
He's
we
been
all
sipping.
kind of wish we were lost on the beach right now, right?
Damn
Yeah,
right.
man. That's a little true.
So how are we all making along here in this? I don't know. I guess this is like 6 weeks of working from home, and
Is this week
quarantine.
6?
I believe it is.
For you or for me? Because I was a week after you. Or I think.
Yeah, I think
I was a week after you.
I think that's true. So I guess either way, 5 or 6.
I mean, it's still. I mean,
yeah.
honestly, the time is flying by.
Yeah, it's an odd situation. You know, again, we're thankful that we're actually still able to do what we can do.
100%.
So we're very thankful for that. But it's just it's a little bit different. I noticed that I am way more productive at home than when I'm in the office. So that's interesting to know. And I kind of look forward to possibly doing this a little bit more once we get back to whatever kind of normal situation that we'll go back to. But
I mean, so why are you more productive at home? I guess there's no some bitch messing with you.
yeah. I don't have to walk around the office giving up my daps and my points and stuff like that, and saving a lot more money because we're not going out to our faux.
Hell yeah, man.
Although I do miss our faux lunches, so it's
I won't go.
You get back. I think.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
I think we need to do a big fat faux lunch.
Fogo. It's time. Time for Fogo.
Fogo no chow? Yeah, let's do that too. We'll do all the Fogos. But let's jump right into NFL draft. It was interesting to see last night that they ended up doing the draft virtually, kind of like we're doing this now. So everything was done via these interwebs, and it was interesting to see some of the coaches and the GMs and what kind of setups they had at home.
You'll see their houses too.
Yeah. What's his name? Kingsbury for Arizona. He's got a ballin' palatial estate.
Oh my God. Floor to ceiling windows, man.
Yeah, man. Sweet.
That was sweet.
Yeah, but let's go into it. Let's talk about this first round. And I don't know, we can go pick by pick. We can throw out some picks. We can do pretty much whatever we want to do. Blockhead, you're the guy. So
I got it pulled up. I got all the picks pulled up. I think, maybe let's stick to the bigger names because I don't think we want to make this too long. We probably won't talk about any O-linemen. I haven't watched much O-lineman film. I don't know about y'all.
What?
But
I think when we talk about an NFL draft, especially the first round, it's first round plus off-season acquisitions you got to look at.
Okay. So you're the guy for that?
No, I have no idea who got picked up where.
okay, very helpful.
I'm saying Blockhead is the guy. He knows everything.
Oh, so I'm supposed to list it all out.
Hey, listen, he's in his bunker. So for the last couple of months, he's been worrying only strictly about the draft. So that's
only the draft. Yeah, I don't know anyone else's names. It's a disaster. So, all right, I don't know. The team I care about the most, the Ravens.
Okay.
We got the LSU linebacker, Patrick Queen. The rumors that I saw before the draft was that we were either going to pick him or the OSU guy, Kenneth Murray.
Another linebacker, right?
Yeah, the Oklahoma linebacker.
Okay.
So those are our two dudes, and luckily one dropped to us, I think.
Right. I think the other one was taken maybe a pick or two before.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. 23, I think, is when they got picked. Or 28. So they both dropped to us pretty much. Mm-hmm. And people were saying the buzz was if we were afraid, we might trade up to get one of those linebackers. Right. In my head, the Ravens don't trade up usually. Usually we're more of a trade back type of team. So I just thought we're just going to sit there. And then if our dudes got taken, we would have popped back. But really happy to see that we got that linebacker.
That was a pretty good pickup. I think his value, they always do that. The so-called experts. No one's an expert like you, Blockhead, but
that's right.
The ones who get paid for it had him as somewhere around mid first round grade value, so around the 14th, 15th highest value on the board. So for the Ravens to pick him up at what was that, 27, 28?
28.
That's and it filled an immediate need because lost a couple of linebackers in the offseason going into Shrek's offseason situation.
And
the Ravens did lose some linebackers there, so they needed that.
We did, but also having our history with linebacker development, seeing that our personnel like in talent scouts saw this dude and we're like, all right, we want this dude to be a Raven. Even just that is a pretty high praise for linebackers, I feel like. Right. Because when Ravens scouts see something in linebackers, they usually get it right. So
that is true. Except the one guy that fell down the steps and cracked his cranium.
Sergio Kindle.
Yeah, King Surge.
The Surge. Well, it's gonna be another Sergio Kindle type situation. This is gonna be a lost NFL season. So we'll see how he fares after a complete year of nothing.
Yeah.
You think so? You think the NFL is just not going to happen? I think the NFL is going to happen.
I think I agree with you, Blockhead. I think in some form or fashion there will be an NFL season this year. Will it start on time? Will it be pushed back? Will it be shortened?
Will there be fans?
Who knows? Who knows? But I think there will be some sort of a season, even if they, just play the conference games or play the division games or something like that. I think it'll definitely be some sort of a season. All will not be lost.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, they should just go ahead, draw names out of a hat, and double elimination tournament this shit.
That's not a bad idea. Look at you.
That'd be kind of sweet.
All right, what else we got? Big names in the first round.
All right, biggest name, Joe Burrow, the Bengals. People thought he might not sign with them or whatever, but that's all dried up. He's gonna play with them.
Yeah, it made no sense for anyone to believe that the Bengals wouldn't take him or he wouldn't go to them. I mean,
they're trying to make a story. Yeah.
So
they were just trying to make it seem more exciting than it was. I mean,
right.
The dude is
also, sure, you get 15 minutes on the clock, but did you really have to take all 15 minutes before?
Come on, man.
I mean, they could have went for Justin Herbert.
The most overrated QB talent. Good Lord.
That's the Oregon Ducks quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Another Oregon first round quarterback. I mean, come on, we've seen this before, right?
What about Twa?
He.
Go ahead. I'll let the professional go first before I dig into this.
I don't know. I think maybe in my head, I still feel my whole impression of that situation is mainly I feel bad for poor Josh Rosen. Like that man has just not gotten a single break. He only played in 4 games with the certified worst team in the league until they started getting a little bit better midway through the season. Right? Like when he was in, they were everyone knew they were the worst, right?
Right.
So that dude has not gotten a chance. Rosen to New England.
Well, the thing is, now he's still with the Dolphins, right?
Yes.
All right.
Currently.
So
we'll see.
So we already know that Tua's not going to play. Whatever kind of season there's going to be this season, Tua's not going to play. We know this. We just know this.
You think so?
Even again, the so-called experts are saying that he's going to redshirt this year.
For injury concerns or for just learning from Fitzmagic?
He broke his hip.
Homie, didn't he play after that? Insanity.
No. The only thing he's done is the video that they kind of showed last night.
You're right.
Because he hasn't been able to get to the doctors to have any physicals or any of that stuff. So no one really knows the extent of that one injury. Now, that's the one injury that we're talking about. But
his ankle.
He already had surgery on knees and ankles.
That ankle, he was injured all last season or the season before that.
Yeah. So
literally.
So he's quite brittle. So we know this, right?
Look, when the number one, the only thing that the biggest takeaway, the big pros about this guy, and all they can talk about is he is a leader and is going to elevate everyone else's play. It means that he's a bum. It's like if you're relying on this one kid to be the guy to automatically elevate everyone else's performance.
Yeah, he takes command when he gets in the huddle. I mean, because it's
all right. No. He's a great deep ball. That has all. You forgot about that. He's a great deep ball.
Okay, Kyle Bowler.
Yeah. I always chuckle a bit when they start talking about okay, he has a great deep ball. He has the fundamentals. This, he has that. Well, okay. And then they talking about what translates from college to the league, and a broke ass hip. How does that translate from college to the big leagues? You know what I mean?
Point. Not very well.
And then the other thing they talk about, he'll be the first left-handed quarterback to throw a pass in the NFL. They start getting into all these weird
Matt Leinart.
They start getting into all these weird things, And then again, when you bring in a left-handed quarterback, now you have to change offensive philosophies and different things like that. So when you draft a quarterback or when you draft someone in the first round, especially that high, you kind of want them to be on the field giving some sort of production sooner rather than later, because you'll end up having the people that drafted him, the people that took him, won't be there to see the fruits of that labor anyway, because the team is still going to be sucking.
They're going to suck again.
And they're going to be firing out of here. So that was my biggest issue with taking him that early. You also had 3 picks in the first round. You know what I mean? So there was opportunities to come back and get him later. And you could have probably stockpiled some picks and things like that. So I don't know. Taking him that early just seemed a bit ridiculous to me.
Well, the only
so they got him at 5, and right afterwards at 6, the Chargers took Herbert.
Right.
Now I think Tua is a better quarterback than Herbert.
Agreed.
Period.
Yes.
Injury concerns included, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. Herbert was just like a physically gifted quarterback, but I don't know. He was a college quarterback. I don't think anyone was like, oh, we're facing Justin Herbert this weekend. Like, yeah, you can throw it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so I think so right afterwards, right, the Chargers took that. And I think if they would have traded out with the Chargers, I mean, they would have taken Tua, right? That's a good idea.
Well, things like that always kind of are interesting and quite honestly funny to me. Is when it comes down to you have the quote unquote top two guys, and they are the top two in the draft. We got to have, it doesn't matter if I take this guy or if I take that guy. Mm-hmm. We think we can win and we can succeed with either one. That, to me, that philosophy has always been weird because they are not the same player. They're not the same person. Hell, one's right-handed, one's left-handed. That's just a difference off the top. So you can't tell me that going with either one is going to be okay. At the end of the day, you gotta come down to it and say, okay, I want this guy, and not be, well, I like them both. So hey, if he's gone, I'll make it work with this guy. That thinking and that philosophy to me just doesn't work.
I do see what you mean, especially for quarterbacks.
Especially for quarterbacks. So I'm thinking that had Miami not taken him there, possibly fell back, or to get more picks or more assets, more things you can play around with, I don't think the Chargers would have taken him. Plus, the Chargers are moving to LA. You know what I mean? They can't afford. They're the second team in LA, by the way, so they can't afford to have their first pick going into this new place not play for a year. When you have your starting quarterback that you've had for all these years just left. You need someone on the field.
You mean Tyrod Taylor? Electric Man? Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so you need someone on the field. So at that point, I don't think that they would have taken Tua. And then Miami would have been stuck with nothing. By that same token, I don't think anyone else, the only other quarterback taken after that was by Green Bay, way back in the high 20s, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think there was anyone else that was clamoring to jump in front of Miami to take Tua. Just plain and simple.
I'll go ahead and I'll tell you Miami philosophy.
Okay.
Putting myself in Miami shoes. This is why you take the left-handed quarterback.
Okay.
You know for a fact you are 5 years away from being any semblance of a good team, right? 5 years meaning development.
At least.
You need development. You need veterans, but you need guys that are growing through your system. So what do? They secure the left-hander, and what's their next move that they do? They trade up and get a tackle. The tackle they're going to get, I guarantee you can mark my words, come back to this podcast, they are going to develop him as a right tackle, so the wear and tear on the guy is going to be low. He's going to be developed. He's a left tackle drafted to be a star left tackle. They're going to put him in the right tackle role, and they're just going to go ahead and let their quarterback, that whoever they put in there, whatever crash test dummy they want to put in there to get destroyed for 5 years, they'll go ahead and let that blind side he'll get blinded nonstop. But the right tackle, the right side of the line is going to end up getting solid, super solid. And when they bring Paul in, his blind side is going to be protected like no other.
What do you think? Do you think they have that kind of time to wait and deal with this? I mean, it's not like the other teams in that division are getting weaker.
Of course they are.
Buffalo and the Jets both have their franchise quarterbacks.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll give you Darnold.
Okay.
I don't even like Darnold. I don't think any of them are. You know how I was talking about Justin Herbert? I don't look at the schedule and say, whoa, we're facing Sam Darnold. I'm not worried about him.
Oh, what I'm going to say.
He's got the best memes in the game for sure.
That's a good point.
I'll say this. Both those quarterbacks have potential to be great quarterbacks.
They do. They both have potential.
For any team not located in New York.
That's a good point.
I like the way you're thinking, Shrek.
That's a really good point. Dude, especially the Jets. I just feel like, man, they're just always 2 steps behind. Like the whole world knew that running backs weren't the wave, right? And what they do, they signed Le'Veon Bell to a $25 million deal. You know, like I don't have much faith in the Jets. Yeah. I just don't think Darnold's ever going to get weapons or protection or, to be honest, a good team around him. And he'll just be a perennial, what were they this year? 7-8, 7-9, 8-8, something like that.
Staying. Irrelevant. The playoffs, and that's all that matters.
And they're going to be irrelevant. I think Miami. All right. Predictions episode right now. Miami, better record than the Jets this season.
The season coming up?
Yep.
Interesting. But it won't be because of anything that Tua's done.
It might be because of Tua.
You got Tua being on the field this season?
I feel like he could.
Wow.
I feel like he could.
Yeah.
I feel like they could put Fitzmagic in there for the first couple games, get mad at him, and then throw up Tua.
He's going to throw for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns at least 2 games this season. We know this.
We'll see.
We know this. But how can you justify putting in the rookie when you have, like you say, Fitzmagic, and you also still have Rosen on the roster?
And that's a big question.
You know what
I
mean?
would have thought Rosen would have gotten traded pre-draft at least, or the classic. Wait, isn't that what happened last time with Rosen? Everyone was like, "Oh, he'll get traded pre-draft." Did he get traded pre-draft?
Last year?
I don't remember.
No,
last year.
He got
traded. He didn't. It was the day after.
Yeah, it was.
And he got traded for a 3rd rounder.
Yeah, it was really weird. But you know, I think, go ahead and give him this red shirt season.
Injury-wise, if that's the case that he needs, then I totally agree. Yeah. I think he'll be ready before that, and I think that play-wise, he is good enough to start over Fitzmagic and Rosen. Yes. So I think he's gonna. I think given that he's healthy, they should put him in, and I think they will.
To win games, are you saying to win games or just to get him some experience? I'm
saying to win games. I think Miami's trying to win now. Like after this draft, I think they're like, all right, we did our tank. We had 4. I don't know. We had tons of 1st round picks. Got more later. We got our guys in. It's that head coach's 3rd year, 2nd year? I don't know. I think they're gonna try and start turning around now. So like this year, I think they're looking for their goal is probably, like I said, they're gonna try and finish not last in the division. Maybe not the playoffs. Try and get their guys out there, and then next season, or that's like after this one, get the finishing pieces and really do something. That's my prediction.
That's very interesting thoughts.
So I don't think it's a 5-year plan. I think it's more of this season's like a middle season, and the next season is our push type plan.
Interesting. So you actually have them putting Tua on the field this season. I have
week 5.
I have him holding a clipboard from day one. From day one that he walks into camp, I have him holding a clipboard with his hat on backwards.
People. I feel like every year in the draft, people pick up quarterbacks and everyone's like, oh, that's a long-term project. He'll be buried in the depth chart. We won't see him for at least a year or 2. And then by the end of the season, all those teams, because they all suck when they draft a quarterback, except for the Packers, but everyone else is they draft their quarterback and they're bad because they need a quarterback, right? And then they get impatient because they have this dude. They're all curious. They have this dude on the sideline, and they're like, well, fuck it, let's see what we can do.
The caveat to that again is injuries. I think I would be more willing to say he'd get on the field a little bit if he didn't have the hip thing. I'm still skeptical with the ankles and knees. I think whenever he rolls out there, he's gonna be like a transformer wearing a ton of extra stuff.
That might be true. He's have a hip brace.
He might be bubble wrapped when he go out there.
He's gonna have one of those automatic chair lifts to get him in the locker room.
Yeah, because one thing we know about hips is that it just takes one. It's no different than what they all said about Lamar and continue to say, oh, it just takes one hit. Well, yeah, it just takes one sack for him, standing in the pocket, with his back turned, boom, or even how he got injured in the first place, just running around trying to get away from pressure, and then it just happened.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking, I think logically you're thinking right, honestly. But if I'm probably just looking at the examples, like Dwayne Haskins, everyone's like, all right, he's a 1-year project at least. They threw him in there into the grinder, right?
This is what you're forgetting, though.
Baker Mayfield got tossed in.
I'm going to interject.
Lamar got tossed in. Like, literally, all these dudes just get tossed in because teams are like, we got this guy. He's on the bench. We're not going to wait.
This is what the big picture you're missing. You're both missing the big picture.
Oh, sure.
We're talking about Miami. Miami, proof of fact, they told everyone in the world, hey, guys, we don't care if you care about us winning games when we're trying to rebuild. We will put college players out there and let you watch pure garbage on TV because we don't care about how this looks. They don't.
There you go.
I mean, look at the Ravens game against Miami.
There's just a different pressure when you've got the guy on the bench. Like, what that happened to Rosen. That happened to Rosen in Miami even. Like, they had Fitzmagic start the season, and then they tossed in Rosen, right? And then they put in Fitzmagic again because Rosen turned out to be garbage. But they still had the guy on the bench, and they tossed him in.
They're not. Neither one of those guys are franchise people.
They thought Rosen could be.
It was always quote unquote what they call it, hashtag tanking for Tua, which is what they had the entire, or I guess half of the season, and then of course they put together a couple wins, and then Cincinnati was so stank that and then of course the whole thing flip-flop from Tua being the greatest thing to now Joe Burrow being the greatest thing. You know what I mean? So it was all flipped around and bouncing and all that. So they ended up getting who everybody thought they were going to get
their guy,
a year ago this time. They ended up getting him anyway. So all that's just all been in the same mindset and the same theory. So they turned theory into practice, and they actually got him anyway. But again, I guess we have a little difference of opinion as far as will he get on the field or not. I will grant you, if he did not have a cracked ass hip, I would say sure, he'll get on the field, But with a cracked ass hip, I ain't buying it.
I would venture to say if they start going through a depth chart with injuries, they would hire a free agent to start over him.
If he's still injured, then it'd be ridiculous to put him in. But if he's healthy enough to play, like not even healthy enough, if he's healthy and ready, they're going to put him in. That's what I say. And not spend more money on a free agent, that's for sure. Maybe if they hold on to Rosen, maybe they'll put him in first. But if their season's down the tubes already.
Well, yeah, I think at this point you roll with Fitzmagic, you roll with Rosen, and see what happens. Now, I think what Shrek was saying is if they both get hurt, then you'll have, you always have that fourth quarterback on, that comes into training camp anyway, that what they call an arm. We just needed an arm to come in and throw some balls around. So that's probably what's going to happen.
Pick the guy up on the
those
practice
two guys
squad.
would get hurt. But what I think you mentioned earlier, Blockhead, about running backs, and it was one running back taken in the entire first round
at 32.
Yeah, and
so
that to me that's interesting because there's a lot of good running back talent in the draft.
There is.
But I think that the way the league is gone now, with so many running back by committee, and you can pick up a running back as free agent, undrafted free agents, and everything, that that whole first round you got to get one high is just gone at this point.
Yeah, man. I mean, it seems to me like people might have learned finally from the Dallas Cowboys, and that if you have a good offensive line, the running back don't really matter. Like, for the most part, the running back's going to earn you an extra 2 yards when the line earns you 5 yards a play.
Right.
So it's just like
when it comes down to it, it's no longer a contact sport. It's a speed sport. It's a speed and quickness sport. It's not a contact sport. And when you look at that, now you're talking about running backs who typically used to have a career length of 2-3 seasons on average because of wear and tear.
I mean, they still do. When you draft these premier guys, Todd Gurley, for example, he got a solid 3 years, and now he has arthritis in his bum.
Even then, it's not like he's not that workhorse that you only had a couple like the Jamal Lewis's, who was a bull, a ram that would just last it forever. You don't have these freaks of guys
besides Frank Gore.
Well, Frank Gore is a freak.
Guys are going to stay around for 10, 15 years.
Yep.
Yeah, they're just not. And so they're not worth the draft pick, It's just how it is. Like, these dudes are good, We had some record setters, I'm pretty sure, in the draft class. It's not as if the RB class was weak by any means. It's just the position itself is, like you said, RB by committee, pick one up on a free agent or like a undrafted free agent, just scoop some dudes who can juke a little bit.
When you can have random people like Gus the Bus
Justin Forsett, who was a perennial like undrafted free agent or like free agent on every team he went to,
or like weird like little tiny dudes like Philip Lindsay. Like, who the hell thought he would be a running back?
Yeah.
I think a lot of it goes to offensive philosophy as well. Who can you plug in? So I think I can't. What the hell's his name? The guy that got drafted.
We got Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, Edwards-Helaire. So he went to Kansas City, which they're going to be able to use his talent, and again add more firepower to that freaking offense.
Yeah. And he's not going to be a workhorse either, like you're saying. Right. He's not. He's going to be out of a backfield pass catcher.
He's a wide receiver. Wide receiver.
Swing pass out of the backfield, throwing the jets, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, maybe a first-round sweep every now and then or something like that. Like,
it's going to be
running backs drafted now are wide receivers who don't mind going back behind center sometimes.
I mean, it's just because they're just so disposable and they don't last long enough.
Yeah.
Except for I guess you have Zeke, who's rare, and Saquon. But you see how Saquon played out. I mean,
well, he
hate on the guy, but he's kind of irrelevant on the bad team because he didn't even do that well because they had a garbage offensive line.
Right. Exactly. So it's one of those things. If he can get into the open field, then he's gone. But he's got to get into the open field.
And everyone knows he's a freak, but it's just like, is he a freak if you hit him before he has the ball? Because that's what happens to him every play.
Right. But that's it. That is, I guess, the draft. It was the first kind of sort of sports event type thing that we've had
forever
in quite a few weeks. So it was interesting. I actually watched the whole damn thing.
Me too.
Started off on my iPad, then ended up getting into bed and switching onto the TV. So it ended up sometime around midnight. But
I don't even know what the NFL is.
So we have what?
We can tell.
2 and 3 tonight, and then the rest of the draft this weekend. And so I guess we'll we'll pick this back up next week and kind of do a whole review of the entire draft and just see how that goes. What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, that is that. We are out of here. Tell everyone good night, Handsom Shrek.
Good night, Handsom Shrek.
Tell everyone good night, Blockhead.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Peace.